Race number 2, we move on to the second on the programme, Class 4, 1400-metre contest. Amusing City heads them. He was a couple of Griffin runs and a win at the back end of last season. Diamond Legend, a last start winner. Empire Star gets the blinkers on for the first time. Contribution can roll forwards. Got barrier 9 though. Matthew Purton will take £7 off fine with me. Starlot, course and distance first time, comes off an all-weather campaign, and Unique Joyful, a course and distance winner back in July.
This is a Class 4, but it's got a bit of substance to it. There's quite a few horses in this race I think potentially can get into 3. Amusing City, Unique Joyful, the likely 2 to roll on. Let's Take It Easy is an interesting runner from 8. It's a bit awkward the gate, but I think he's got the pace to lead this if he wants to. Contribution might be up there. Sunny Orient and Fine With Me potentially look awkwardly placed.
Thought I'd highlight the 2 main chances in this race, and Empire Star being one of those. Here he is with the blinkers on. He'll be racing, wearing them race day. You can see he's going away from exponents there. I thought it was a really nice piece from him, and the blinkers have definitely sharpened this horse up. Here's the second one without them, so they've tried them both ways, and he's going nicely enough here as well, Empire Star. That's him closest to us as he comes down. So he's a horse who's been working quite nicely going into this particular event. I think he's well placed. Let's Take It Easy. Now he's the one that's on the outside, closest to us again, the 140, going nicely once again with Happy Guy. And he's been working well. Has caught the eye on a couple of his runs recently, so I thought he's worth having a look at.
All right, we'll see one of those runs in a second or so behind Empire Star. Let's kick things off though here with Diamond Legend. Came from a long way back at Happy Valley last time out. Can he do it again with jockey Sam Clipperton?
Sam, when we spoke to you last time about Diamond Legend, you said that he'd be better at Sha-Tin over a bit longer. Was it a bonus then to get that win at Happy Valley?
Well, yeah, well, any win's a win, but he was very impressive that night. Paul and I do think he's got that, great ability, and that night we just had to ride him quiet, and they had a race run to suit. He did have a long way to, a lot of ground to make up, but he won quite easy in the end. So. I think the step up to 1400 on Saturday at Sha-Tin is going to be ideal. Unfortunately, he hasn't drawn all that well again, but wherever he is in the run, he's just got to be travelling and getting a nice cosy run somewhere. He'll most likely probably be back in the field again, I'd say, but he'll be hitting the line very strong.
You're going very well at the moment. You've got a 17% strike rate, second only to Joe Moreira. Has it been a good start of the season, do you feel? It's
been a great start to the season. I wasn't expecting the start that I've got off to. I was probably expecting a bit more time to get off the mark, but working very hard and receiving tremendous amount of support from a wide variety of owners and trainers, and we just got to keep consistent and keep it going.
Last season, a lot of your support came from John Moore. Obviously, Tommy Berry's here this season. Was it something that you deliberately set out to spread yourself out a bit wider this season?
Most definitely, yeah. And it was something that I sort of worked on a fair bit last season as well. Even though John Moore was my main supporter and I was working very closely with him, I still focused on making sure I kept everybody happy. And I think perhaps maybe that's what's put me in good stead for this season. And I've just continued to work hard with with everybody, and I'm receiving some good amount of support.
Numbers don't lie, do they? It's been a brilliant start. Can Diamond Legend add to it, though?
Possibly. I think, as I said, it's a good Class 4. There's a few that can get into 3. Diamond Legend, one of them. I think Empire Star, Let's Take It Easy, and Cheers Conqueror is another one I've made a horse to follow. I've got 2 horses to follow in this race. So there's 4 main hopes for me, but I think the blinkers might be the difference with Empire Star.
Yeah, I think so. With that particular horse, though, he won really nicely, and he won going away at Happy Valley. If he can reproduce that, then that's
he was a long way back. He made
wasn't he? Will he get the race run to suit? Different race course there. Question marks you have to ask yourself.
Well, Sam was saying going into that Happy Valley race that he expected the horse to finish well, but follow with confidence down the track. So on that comment, it has to be a danger.
All right, that's Diamond Legend. Let's have a look at Empire Star. The blinkers go on. He's been over 100 to 1. He's been favourite. He hasn't actually scored yet, but maybe this is the one.
Yeah, I'm going to take a chance with him, Andrew, that the blinkers will be the difference. He just may need them to sharpen him up through the first half of the race. I thought this was a terrific run in defeat. If you go back and have a look at his very first race start at Happy Valley, he showed on that occasion that he's got an engine when he just sort of flopped out of the gates and then charged home for a very impressive second. He was a big price. Following that, he went out at 2.1 favourite and couldn't get it done. So he's a young horse that's got an engine, but not sure how to use it yet. I think the blinkers will help him to get that happening.
Well, what I've seen with the blinkers on, I think it's going to be a major help for him. So I think that he'll have his opportunity in this race.
All right, and there's already a lot of market support from him as well. He is our favourite at this stage. Zach Purton in the saddle. Cheers Conqueror's name's been thrown around already. What are his chances on the back of this?
Well, he's got a nice draw. He might be posing up a little bit closer because this was a 1,200 metre race. He now steps up to the 1,400 metres. He hit the line very strongly indeed and did catch the eye. I know Brett made him a horse to follow out of this particular race as well. So I think he's definitely going to get his opportunity in this.
Yeah, and I take your point too, Paul. I think if you go back and look at some of his earlier runs, he's definitely got the pace to lay up a little bit closer. But the key to his good performance here was that they actually just gave him a bit of time early. So they can probably sort of, weigh it up and a little bit of both, but not overdo it maybe with the early pace, and then he can probably close off again. But he's definitely a horse, I think, that can feature in the finish as well.
All right, OK. Is it as straightforward as the market suggests at this point?
Well, I think, as Brett said, there's about 5 or 6 sort of major chances in the race, but I have got Empire Star on top. I think this is his opportunity. Let's Take It Easy. He's caught the eye on a few occasions. Cheers Conqueror. The 1,400 metres will really suit him. And Sunny Orient, another horse who's been running pretty well recently, so I put him in for 4th. But 4, 7, 12, 10, that's leaving out Diamond Legend as well. And, I'm sure he'll run well. I'll play Exotics, QQP, 4, 7, 12.
My suggested bet will be to play the Exotics. I'm going to label Empire Star as my best of the day because I think he will win. But Diamond Legend, Cheers Conqueror, Let's Take It Easy, and I'm going to even sneak in the Full Bloom because I think him coming back in trip could possibly run into 3rd or 4th. So I'm going to play the trio here. Banker the 4 with a 3, 5, 7 and 12. But will be making Empire Star the best. I think he's quite difficult to beat.
Yeah, I think he'll be on top as well when they cross the line. Let's hope so. Anyway, that's Empire Star in race number 2. We're going to take a short break before we come back with the 3rd, which is the first leg of the first double trio.